to. During the heat of the game, it's clear he's a champ when all else disappears. Rally the team with a wink and a cheer. He's the leader that everyone fears. Quickly, it's a real heater. Once my friend, he's a locker room leader. In the chaos, he's the center, turning us into believers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday night. It is 7 p.m. I am OM Dynamic, and this is the Locker Room Breakdown. This is my raw perspective as I look back at what happened last week, preview what's ahead tonight on Monday Night Raw, and the Raw Patrol coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern over on the Turnbuckle Studios page. A lot of interesting developments in this past week over the course of WWE as a whole. And today, we do know that Raw was shown live earlier today, so we do ask for no spoilers in the chat here or during the Raw Patrol, please, because we just haven't had time to watch it until our regularly scheduled broadcast time. So, let's get right into it last week, shall we? Our new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Rio, came out to celebrate having won the Tag Team Championships, defeating the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, on the January 5th episode of Raw, the one-year anniversary of Netflix. And that was a hell of a match. Although I'm not a huge Asuka fan, that was one hell of a match. This was your standard go-to promo. Interruptions galore. As we did get Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Mr. Best, thank you for joining. Great to see you as always, my brother. I will be joining you in just a little while over for the Raw Patrol. Always a pleasure to see Mr. Best here in the chat. So we got Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez coming out and saying they want their shot and they're going to get it one way or another. They were then interrupted by Bayley and Lyra, where I don't know what is going on with this tag team. We're either seeing them in backstage segments or a lot of one-on-ones and not a lot of tag matches. So are they a tag team? Are they just two singles competitors who were thrown together to give them a compelling storyline and somebody to work with? I really hope that they're a legitimate tag team as opposed to the latter and the just compelling storyline of what is going to go on with both of them. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. We had a third team. We had the Kabuki Warriors come out wanting their rematch. What I really found interesting about this is that the previous tag team champions, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, had already stated they were next in line. They were going to get their shot. So, I mean, I'm okay with this, provided you're going in that direction of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss getting the title shot, and this is your competitors after that. Of course, as it always does, this broke down into chaos and anarchy. But the team of Rio, they did the smart thing. They left the ring. They got the heck out of there. They went to the back while the other three teams battled and scrapped with each other. Eventually, it was broken up. and we go to a backstage segment. So we know that Rio is going to take on all comers. It's just a matter of when and how. And we do have Saturday night's main event coming up here in just about a week. This coming weekend, this Saturday. So are we going to get a triple threat? Are we going to get a four-way? Are we going to get a 16 ladder match? The possibilities, ladies and gentlemen, for the women's tag team champions are wide open. Up next, we had a debuting Javon Evans in his official main roster debut, coming out to take on, who was it? Bravo Americano. So 1/3 of Los Americanos. It was Bravo. So it was the guy in blue. Bravo for blue, Rayo for red, and then El Grande. This match was fantastic and had a little bit of everything. We had the distraction and the interference, of course, from Rayo and from Grande. But high flying, fast pace, something you would expect from these two. Javon, of course, picks up the win, which really isn't a surprise when you've got somebody that young, that talented, and that red hot from his NXT run coming in. To the interference from Rayo and Bravo. And then the attempted post-match beatdown. This is where I don't know. I am just so lost with some of the creative at times. Yes, Javon Evans pulled some high-flying moves to come back from across the announce table to get over Grande, to get over the Americanos, and get through the ring to get back up the ramp. Innovative, yes. Has it been done? Yes. Is it exciting for the fans, or is this a situation where it's the babyface taking the easy way out? And I ask that, ladies and gentlemen, because I know we're used to seeing the babyface get beaten down. I would have been okay with the beatdown, or even, the Americanos getting in the ring to beat him down and him finding an escape path through the three of them, as opposed to going through the ring. We've seen this done by, a lot of the baby faces, and I'm going to go back to when it was Stone Cold, The Rock, although those guys would stand in the ring and put up a fight. Kofi Kingston, when he was a baby face, The New Day. Some of these guys would always try and find that innovative way to exit the ring. I just wasn't a fan of this part, ladies and gentlemen. I wish that they could have done something with a little more depth. Maybe you could have had somebody come out to make to help Javon set up a tag match, although, again, we're going down the predictable route. But something, no matter what way you slice it, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get something familiar, something that has been done time and time again. This was just not something that I was particularly big on. And because I'm not a high flyer guy, I am a Javon Evans fan. Don't get me wrong. I am big on Javon Evans. I think he's going to be a solid mid-card addition by the end of the year, and perhaps even challenging and taking the Intercontinental Championship from Dom Mysterio. After this match, it was announced that we were going to get a triple threat number one contenders match for the women's tag titles. Bayley and Lyra versus Roxanne and Liv versus the Kabuki Warriors. Again, I thought that we were going to get Charlotte and Alexa as the next contenders. This match for me just put that whole concept right out the window, and it's a great job at strengthening the women's tag division, but throws that contention right out the window. Right after that, we saw Liv Morgan in the Judgment Day clubhouse get right up in Finn Balor's face, saying, "What are you doing?" Raquel is going hard after the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Roxanne and I have gone and laid our claim for the women's tag titles, and we're getting the jump on that. You're back here playing video games, wondering about JD and Dom. What are you going to do? When are you going to step up, Finn? And Liv, bravo. I love this. Since Liv's return, she seems to have really relit the fire under the Judgment Day's asses. Something that they have needed. Up next, we go back to the ring and we get a segment involving our World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk, who said now he's done with the Vision. He's put that in his rear view. He's defeated Braun Breaker. He gave Braun Breaker credit. I cannot take that away. He said he's gone to war with the Vision. He went to war with Braun, and he didn't put Braun Breaker down in any capacity, to be interrupted by the aforementioned Finn Balor, who came out and said, "You mentioned my name in a list of people you want to face for that title." And the line starts behind me. Punk clapping back, saying, "That was 2 months ago. Where have you been?" Again, you've been playing video games, waiting on JD, waiting on Dom, waiting on everybody else to do the Judgment Day. So Punk was ready to go last week when Balor said, no, I've seen you get that hero's reaction and get the crowd behind you every time we go to Chicago. Next week, we're going to do it on my terms. And I know what you're thinking. We just saw this at Survivor Series, which, yes, we did. But Finn Balor said, no, we're going to wait until tonight in Belfast, in his hometown, his home country, the native son. And we will touch on that main event match a little bit later on. Up next, I know we've talked a lot about it already. We've gone from the opening promo to a backstage announcement to the triple threat number one contenders tag team title match for the women's tag team championships. And ladies and gentlemen, holy cannoli, what a match this was. And I didn't have any doubt in that. These women truly, truly know how to step up their game. This match was hard hitting, back and forth. Mr. Best coming in saying he's had a thought, but what if Punk is the catalyst that leads to the Judgment Day splitting? Very good point, Mr. Best. It is absolutely possible. And I am very intrigued, and we will find out exactly what happens just a little bit later on tonight. But we had the Kabuki Warriors, Bailey and Lyra versus Roxanne and Liv. This one was a lot of hot tags, quick tags. This was tag team wrestling at its purest art form. I know we here at the Raw Patrol, we were speculating, are we going to see Charlotte and Alexa show up in this match? Are we going to see Nia Jax and Lash Legend show up for this, even though both of those teams are on SmackDown? I am pleased to say we did not get that extra interference from either of those teams, because I think it would have just added to the utter chaos. I know off stream we've talked about it, and Mr. Best, I'm with you 100% on this, saying you want to see that Women's Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match in February. I am 100% with you on that, my friend. This match went back and forth. Each woman was able to establish a little bit of control here, there, and everywhere. This did not turn into a cluster bomb, thankfully, and I was relieved to see that. In the end, Roxanne and Liv walked away as the number one contenders, and I am truly, truly grateful that it is not the Kabuki Warriors, but I would have loved to see Lyra and Bailey in that spot as well. I'm hoping that is going to jumpstart Bailey and Lyra. Maybe they're going to go and take it to one of these teams afterwards. One of the things that I found truly, truly intriguing about that match was you had every former or all former members of Damage Control with the Kabuki Warriors, with Bailey, and with Io Sky. Minus, of course, Dakota Kai, who is no longer with the company. Up next, again, we had another interesting interview at the top of the ramp with Raquel Rodriguez and Michael Cole. Raquel coming out saying, no, I'm not playing around. This is my time. I'm coming to take that title. We did not get a definitive date, but she was interrupted by Stephanie Vicaire. Seemingly, Raquel walked away and let Stephanie finish her promo. Raquel came back and once again laid Stephanie Vicaire out at the top of the ramp, smashing her injured ankle and that walking boot against the top of the ramp, as well hitting Stephanie with the title, and from all reports, breaking the Women's World Heavyweight Championship last week. Up next, what I thought was a very, very interesting tag match, ladies and gentlemen. We had the Vision, Bronson Reed and Austin Theory, who had Logan Paul in their corner alongside Paul Heyman, taking on Penta and Dragon Lee, who I thought were supposed to have Rey Mysterio in their corner, but Rey was nowhere to be found. This, again, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very interesting matchup. Control firmly asserted by the Vision. This match was a little bit too short for my liking, as we did get fairly quickly into the match before Braun Breaker interfered and really laid waste to Penta and Dragon Lee. This, again, I keep going back to Penta being an enhancement talent with an entrance. I really need them to do something more with Penta. He's got to have a good feud. We need him to have a good feud, good competition. Not just keep giving him this entrance and these remarkable returns. This is Penta El Zero Miedo, Pentagon Jr., Penta Dark, whatever you want to call him. This is Penta, one of the top luchadors in the world. Why are we not doing a whole lot with him? And I know this is something, again, that we have discussed off and on here at Turnbuckle Studios, but I don't like it. If you're going to do something with Penta, do something. If not, move him brands. Let him go to SmackDown. Let him team with his brother. Or move his brother to Raw and let them team. Give them something. After this match, after Braun Breaker's interference, Adam Pearce, the rest of security, and the backstage staff were out there trying to separate them. Logan Paul in Adam Pearce's face saying he's going to unalive you. He is really going to unalive you. This has led to an indefinite suspension for Braun Breaker, as well as a very, very hefty fine. I'm okay with this. Let Braun serve a suspension. Let Braun have some time away. Help him refocus. Let's get him back to the level that he should be at. I'm going to go out and I'm going to say this. Bronson Reed should have had that title match 2 weeks ago. Bronson Reed has done more and been held back by the Vision. And Braun Breaker has sat there, done the enforcer bodyguard role, and yet gets all the hype. Go with Bronson Reed. Give him that dominant performance. He was the guy that came back and took out CM Punk at Saturday night's main event all those months ago. CM Punk should have it that he wants Bronson Reed. So let's make it happen, WWE. Give me CM Punk and Bronson Reed at the Royal Rumble for the title. Give me that match, please. Again, we go backstage, and we heard from Maxine as she's getting ready to once again challenge Becky Lynch tonight in Ireland for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And she said, look, I believe in myself. And then she did the same thing that Liv Morgan did. She did this to Otis and Tozawa, saying, go out and step up. So they went and they talked to Jey Uso, who said, let me holler at Big Jim and I will get back to you. And our main event of the evening, a real barn burner. AJ Styles and Gunther, as AJ Styles has taken everything Gunther has said since defeating John Cena as a massive show of disrespect, and rightfully so. I didn't even agree with Gunther being the guy to retire John. This match, ladies and gentlemen, again, absolutely fantastic. Definitely worthy of a main event, just given the nature of these two competitors. This was not a main event caliber match. I am going to go out and take it. It was a good match. It was a solid match. This was wrestling at its finest. AJ Styles able to counter Gunther's power with his speed, with his agility. I actually liked the ending of this match. AJ went back to the calf crusher for the third or fourth time in the match. Gunther, this was brilliant on Gunther's part. He was able to reach his hand behind him and tap on AJ's opposite leg out of the ref's vision. So AJ immediately relinquished the hold, stood up because Gunther had tapped. Rightfully so on AJ's part. The ref was not in the right position to see the tap. This one falls on the ref. He blew the call because of improper positioning in the ring. So AJ got up. Gunther continued to fight the match because the match wasn't over. The bell hadn't rung. Anyways, Gunther then hits a low blow and proceeds to hit the power bomb on AJ Styles and pins him. And good for Gunther continuing on with the fight. Good on AJ for relinquishing the hold so he didn't get disqualified after Gunther tapped. Refs, you got to do a better job. You need to be in better position. What does this mean tonight? What does this mean going forward? Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back to break down everything that is going to happen here tonight on Raw in just a few moments.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday we go TNA when we brace for Impact at 7:55 p.m. Eastern. Friday we secure all details as we answer the call for the SmackDown security detail at 8 p.m. Eastern. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, videos games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today, because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at carlcarafel.redbubble.com.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have ever wanted your break in podcasting, content creation, a potential collaboration, or just to help us out behind the scenes, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to be for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs. Meet the team under the host section. Chris Best, Chris Parrish, Bubba Duke, Carl Carafel, and of course, myself. Get all of our socials there. Watch our latest weekly live episodic shows, including this one, which will be up in just a little while. Head over to the shop at carlcarafel.redbubble.com by clicking the shop link. Buy the merch. Support your favorite shows. Support your favorite podcasters. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, all of those proceeds come back into our studios to deliver you a better experience. And we can't emphasize this enough, ladies and gentlemen. We really, really need the help backstage. Hit the join button. Send us your credentials. Tell us how you feel you can help us, how you believe we can help you, and we can sit down and figure out the best fit as a collective. For all of your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs, ladies and gentlemen, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to be. On to tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I have 3 matches that have been announced so far. 4, sorry. I have Javon Evans versus El Grande Americano. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this match is going to be a lot of high-flying prowess. A lot of stuff going into this. Do Rayo and Bravo interfere? More than likely. Does Javon Evans have to make another escape? Does Javon have some backup? I am expecting a lot from this match. I am going to give the win to Javon, but I do want to see something more from the Americanos. Get them into the tag title picture. Get Grande into that Intercontinental title picture. I really, really hope that we can get a great match. I don't want another escape like we had last week, but I digress, ladies and gentlemen. We just have to wait and see. Tonight as well, we have a 6-man tag, as once again we get the Vision. Austin Theory, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul, who of course will have Paul Heyman in their corner, teaming up to take on, once again, Penta, Dragon Lee, and tonight adding Rey Mysterio. Ladies and gentlemen, I am expecting a lot from this match. Do I expect Braun Breaker to uphold his suspension? Not a chance. I think that Braun Breaker is going to become much like Drew McIntyre was during his suspension, and just doing everything he can to violate it and break it. But where do we go with this match, ladies and gentlemen? I'm giving the win to the Vision. Yet again, pushing the luchadors a little further down the card because you need the Vision as that strong, dominant faction. Do we get the disqualification? No, I don't think we get the disqualification tonight. I do think that Braun Breaker will come out and lay waste post-match to violate the suspension. Women's Intercontinental Championship, ladies and gentlemen, we have Becky Lynch defending the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Maxine Dupri. This is going to be very, very interesting. Do we get another title switch that quickly, or do we keep the belt on Becky? I wanted Maxine to have a longer run with the title. Does this lead to something more for Maxine going forward? Does this maybe get Maxine a spot on the WrestleMania card? Or do we get Maxine on Saturday night's main event? I'm going to say this. I'm hoping both. I do think that Becky Lynch will retain the title by any means necessary, just like she won the title back. And expect Becky to get the hometown, the home country pop, as she is from Ireland. She is the Irish last kicker. I don't expect boos for Maxine, but I expect a divided crowd for her, where I think you're going to get a bigger pop for Becky. But again, we just have to wait and see. I have scrolled Facebook today. I have not seen any spoilers. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I digress. Please, please do not post any spoilers. Thank you, Madison, for coming in. She's coming in and saying, hey, how am I doing? I'm doing very well tonight, Madison. Thank you so much for asking. Just getting ready to cover tonight's main event here on Monday Night Raw, and then get ready to head over to the Turnbuckle Studios YouTube page for the Raw Patrol alongside Chris Best and other members from our cast of characters. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this one I think you're going to get babyface versus babyface. That's right. Even though he is a part of the Judgment Day, I am fully expecting, again, the babyface pop for Ireland's favorite son, Finn Balor, as he challenges CM Punk one-on-one for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, Balor did say last week he doesn't need the Judgment Day for this match. He's going to do this one-on-one because it's his home country. But, and again, I'm going to go back to Mr. Best's question from earlier, or his thought, but what if Punk is the catalyst that leads to the breakup of the Judgment Day? And it's very, very intriguing. It is a possibility. Are we going to get Balor Club Finn Balor? Do we get Demon Finn Balor in his home country? Or do we get interference from the Judgment Day? I think this is a situation that Finn is going to really want to do it on his own and tell the Judgment Day to stay in the back. I am going to say this. I am anticipating the return, especially in Ireland, in Dublin, or sorry, Belfast, I believe. I can't remember. Of JD McDonough. I do truly think that we are going to see that tonight. I am fully expecting CM Punk to retain. And again, I am expecting something from the Vision during this match. So Again, ladies and gentlemen, we just have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to Raw. I hope you are as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want you to please always remember the world is better with you in it. From myself, from the Locker Room Breakdown, and from everybody at the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, please remember the world is better with you in it. From all of us here, to all of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck.
In the locker room, a guy you'll find loves bad hockey teams, can't deny. His best friend to shut the hand so true, loyal until his friend goes number 2. During the heat of the game, it's clear he's a champ when all else disappears. Rally the team with a wink and a cheer. He's the leader that everyone fears.